Okay, ladies, so for this class, we're going to be doing a basic skirt. Now, from this basic skirt, you can make a dress, you can make a pencil skirt, you can slash it and spread it. This is not a beginner's term, so I'm trying not to use it. But as you advance, you're going to understand what I mean by slashing and spreading. You can slash it and spread it to make it a flare dress. You can drape on it, you can do whatever you want to do. So this is a basic as done the introduction. I'm just going to be showing us a few things so that if you are new to pattern drafting, you can understand how to do a couple of things. Now, for this, the measurements you're going to be needing are your waist measurement, your waist circumference, that's around your waist, your length of your skirt, that's your waist to the floor, your waist to your knee, that's the half of your skirt, your hip circumference, your step circumference, and your bust span. So, once you've taken all of those, I'm going to show you what to do. Remember that in our definition of terms video, when I mentioned what and what you would need for pattern drafting, I said something. I said you will need glue. Now, today we're going to be learning what we do with the glue, right? So, I have my glue, and for this client, for this person's skirt that we are making, her length of her skirt is 42. Now, the pattern paper that I have bought, you can see this. The length of the skirt that I have, the length of this paper that I have here is 36. 36, right? So we need 6 inches to make it 42. Now I have cut out pattern paper that is as wide as this, and we are going to be gluing it to extend our length. Now I hope that shows you how to do it. You can choose to use sellotape too, but this gum is one of the most cost effective ways. Helps you save cost, and personally I feel it's easier, even though the sellotape can also help, and you can preferably the transparent one. So just watch as I glue this, and then we're going to go ahead and start up with our pattern. So you're going to place a glue on the edge of the other paper. You don't need to measure this, but if you can eyeball it like 0.25 inch. So whatever you're cutting is not going to be exact. Now I need 6 to complete this. I cut out 7 because you're going to overlap the paper on each other. So if you cut out the exact 6, you're still going to have a shortage in your length. So I cut out 7, and with the glue I've put is like almost half inch into the paper. So we're going to place it back, place it on top of it like this. That's how you glue your paper. So ladies, I've gone ahead to come in from the edge of the paper. You can see that line there by 1 inch, and I have come down from the edge of the paper also by 1 inch, and I've drawn my margin lines. Then you're going to go ahead and divide your hip by 2. Now the hip I'm using for this is 36. You divide your hip by 2 and it is 18. So from that margin line on the side area, you're going to come in by 18 inch from up to down. Remember that the length of this paper should be the length of your skirt. But if the paper is still not the length of your skirt, then whatever is remaining, you're supposed to add it and add your allowances there. So you're adding your 18 from the side of, that's from the margin line. You're adding your hip divided by 2, and then you're going to go ahead and draw a line from up down to connect the points. You're going to go ahead, and now you have this box. You're going to divide this box into 2 equal halves, which is for me 9, and it's going to be whatever your own hip divided by 2 is. So you still divide that into 2. So you're drawing the midpoint of this box into 2, that's 2 equal halves of the box, and then you're still going to draw another line to separate the middle. So that makes it your back and your front. One part of the box is going to be your back, and one part of the box is going to be your front by the time you've drawn in your midpoint line. From the start point of your margin, you know that the length is our length of skirt. You're going to come in from the start from your margin line up by your waist to hip, which is 8, and I used 8 for her. And then your waist to knee, you're going to mark that down as well. Yeah, and you're going to mark all of them on that middle line. So for waist to knee, I had 22, and for waist to hip, I had 8. Now you're also going to mark that on the center back line. You can see that we already had that labeled. The center back is the one closest to you, and the center front is the one um closest to me, where you can see me drafting. If you don't understand what I mean by center back or center front, please watch our definition of terms video for beginners. I am going to link that in the description box so you can see that. So you're going to go ahead and take your ruler and connect all the points, because I've marked it on all 3 lines: the first margin line, the middle line, and then the center back line. So you're going to connect your hip across. You're going to connect your waist to shoulder, your waist to knee across, as you can see me doing. Now you have your lines drawn. The next line down is your hem line. So that's just me labeling hip line, knee line, so that you're not confused and you don't know what is what. So you label like so. So you're going to be going ahead to take out your waist measurements, and the waist I'm working with here is 25.5. Now 25.5 divided by 4 is, for me, I'm using 6.375. For the front, you're going to enter from your center front line, and you're just going to mark this down. 6.375. And then you're going to add your 1 inch from that. Now for the back, you're going to come in by 0.75 inch for your back tightening. Remember, on our basic body, we did 0.75 for back tightening. So I'm just going to be matching it up here, because if you're going to be seeing this video, then most likely you're going to be using basic bodies to do this. So let's use the same back tightening. So that aligns it with your basic bodies, the upper class, your half scale. And then from your back tightening, now you're going to measure out your 6.375. For you, you put in your own measurements, right? You need to put in your own measurements, and then you're adding 1 inch for that. So you're going to connect this line to your hip. Now remember that for what we did here, we used our hip exactly. On the hip line, what you have exactly is your hip divided by 4, which is 9. So there's no need to remove anything from here. For me, I'll say that this is the easiest way of drafting this. There are different ways to go about it. You're also going to connect your back tightening to your hip line. This is why we should use pencils, but I can't use the pencil right now because you'll not be able to see what I'm doing. You're also going to connect your front to your hip line from waist to hip. This is your center line that separates your back and your front. So at this point, we're going to be going to do our bum tightening. Now for this, people go all different ways, but the easiest way to do it is to have your step measurement calculated. Now the step measurement I have calculated is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7, right? So you're going to come in from your center front by 7 inches, and you're going to mark that down. I'm going to be putting up a measurement video that shows us how to take your step measurement, so you're not confused during this part. So you're going to measure what you have here. This is 2 inches. You're going to connect this back to your hip line. For me, I'm going to be adding half an inch because I actually want this skirt to be a bit freer than the usual. It's still a pencil skirt, but we want to have leg room to be able to walk properly. So what? Let's do 7.5. And when you do 7.5 and you calculate it by 4, you're going to have like 30 and your hip is 36. That depends on your own measurement, but please take your own step measurement so that when you're going to walk, you will not have issues here. Now, this 28 is perfect for a mermaid skirt. You can even do more than this, but usually I don't want to do more than this because from experience, sometimes when it's too tight, you're not able to move, and so you can choose 27. Now, so I'm going to cancel out this line so you're not seeing so many lines and confused. You're going to measure whatever you have from this your dividing line between the back and front, and whichever line you are using. For me, I'm not going to be using 7, I'm going to be using 7.5. So if you divide it, you're supposed to have whatever you have here, you're going to divide it into two, and you're going to enter from this line one part of it, and from this line one part of it. So just watch what I'm going to do now. So 1.5 divided by 2 is 0.75. So from this line, I'm going to, from this is our dividing line, please. I still prefer to use pencils for this. This is our dividing line. You're going to enter half of what you have here and the other half from your end line. That's your center back line. And you're going to connect. You know that this is our back pattern and we're trying to make sure that everything is uniform. So this way you have your skirt pattern literally drafted. You're going to just go ahead and extend your lines to your hem. So for me, I'm not going to extend this line because I cancelled it out. Now this is the advantage of still using the pencil. I'm using this marker because I want you to see what I'm doing. But using the pencil that helps me be able to erase that line without it showing there. So please ignore the line that has been shaded out, and this is the one we extended. So now for the front, bump tightening, everything is done on one side. For the back, your bump tightening is your front. You know how we got the bump tightening? Your step on your knee, your step measurement divided by 4. You enter it, and then you now measure whatever you have left. This is our midline. So whatever you have from your step measurement to your midline is what you divide into two here and enter so that the back is equal. Because if you do the back once, if you do the back everything on one side, it's going to be one-sided, and you have tightened your back. So what you need here to be shaped and here to also be shaped. That's the reason why we're doing this. If you're still yet to understand, just follow through with what I'm doing. By the end of this tutorial, you will understand exactly what we are doing. So next up, I'm going to be taking our darts. Next up, we're taking our darts, and for your darts, you will divide your bust span by 2. So her bust span is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So you're going to mark 3.5 here. This is how you'll be able to match up your dart with your pattern, with your upper bodies, especially if you're making a dress. Then you still take the same 3.5 from your back tightening line, and you're going to come up from your hip by 2.5 inches or 2 inches. For me, I'm going to be doing 2 inches. So you come up from your hip by 2 and you mark that. You also do that on your back pattern. Then you're going to draw out your dark line. For this, I'm going to be using the pencil before we adapt it so that we don't have any issues so that we get this accurately. So you draw out your dart, and then you're going to, you remember you already added 1 inch to your waist measurement divided by 4 for that. So you're going to take out that 1 inch, 0.2, 0.5 inch on both sides. You're going to connect it back to this line. Now, if you're a beginner watching this video, this is how you draft your basic skirt, and this is a long skirt. This is even advantageous because you can fold this and you come to a short skirt, so you don't always have to draft a short skirt from scratch. The moment you have a long skirt, you can fold it and it becomes a short skirt. You also do the same thing. Take out your dark intake of 0.5 inch on the back pattern and you connect it back to where your dart should stop. So when you're done, this is what you should have. So I'm going to cut this out for us so that because I feel you are seeing a lot of lines. I want you to just look as I'm cutting this, just watch. I'm going to be cutting this out so that we can know what is the back and what is the front, please. So just watch what I'm doing. If you watch what I'm doing, you understand what I'm saying. Now you have your front skirt. This is your center front line, so we're cutting off this margin line so we don't confuse ourselves. So you have your front. This is your front pattern. If you label it front. And then we're going to go ahead and cut out the back. So this is your front and this is your back. Your front and your back. Your center back and your center front. Now when you're going to cut this on your fabric, you're going to put it on fold. So you're going to cut your this area, you fold your cloth into two and then you place this there. So this one will be on that place that's folded into two. And for the back, this center back is where your zip will come. But you can see that the thing has shape. It's not straight like the normal one that you know if you're a freehander. So this has shape. So when you sew the skirt, it's going to give you a lot more fitting than the normal skirt. That is why I did not want to come in by so much here. Because if you use this line, it might be too tiny. And when you want to walk, you won't be able to climb a bike, you won't be able to raise your leg to enter into a car or something. So it's just for some sort of ease that I refuse to use the exact step measurement. So I used the step measurement and 0.5 inch. So I divided step measurement by 4 and then I added 0.5 inch. So do you understand what I mean? That step measurement is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Now this line is 7, but I chose not to use 7 because it will look too small. So when you want just what I explained, so you go ahead and you just add your 0.5 inch. That is optional if you want to use the exact step. Especially if you are using this for a mermaid skirt, you can use the exact step. So this is your knee line. Now, if you want to make a knee length skirt, this is the easiest way. You just fold it on your knee line and cut it. So the skirt is going to stop exactly on your knee. Now, if you want it to come down maybe to your calf area, you can choose to add like 2 or 3 inches to that your knee line fold. You just open it up like this. You fold it on your fabric and you cut. And your skirt will not be too short. It will not be too, sometimes your knee length skirt can be short because when you sit down, it will go up. So this is how you do it. Now to this, you have to add your allowances. So this place where the zip is going to come, which is your center back, you're supposed to add about 2 inches. You're supposed to add about 1.5 inch because most times you will turn it with your lining before you now um, sew it by 1 inch for zip area. So 1.5 inch here, and then here 1.5 to 2 inches. This is your side seam, side back, side front. This is your side seam. So you're going to add about 1.5 inch minimum to this place in case you add weight and you don't want to loosen your skirt, or you want to loosen your skirt and have allowance. So you go ahead and add that. Then for this center front must be on fold for your fabric. So you cut it on fold. Then for your waist area to 1.5 down, and then 1.5 down. That's for the back. Then for the front, 1.5 by the side and nothing here because your material is folded. So if you want to cut it as a long skirt, you just put it like this and you cut it. And if you want to cut it as a short skirt, you fold it. If you want it to be 3/4, you take your 3/4 length. Your 3/4 length is usually your knee plus like 8 inches to 10 inches, especially if you want it to be really midi. So you can choose to do that as well. So this is like an all-purpose pattern. It is important that you have this in your archives. Now I marked this because I wanted to cut it out properly. I don't want you shouldn't have any sharp points. So you can see we've eliminated that. So ladies, I'm going to be showing us how to eliminate your darts. I'm sure you've seen some people's outfits that don't have darts. So you're looking at the clothes and you're not seeing any dart on this clothes. What's happening? This is how you eliminate your darts. You fold it in the middle like this and you use your tape to tape it. Now, when you do this and you're cutting it on your fabric, you don't have to sew this dart again. It's as if you already put that on your clothes. So you go ahead and you fold this out, fold it in the middle, and then you put your tape, and that way you've closed your dart. You can do this for your upper bodies too. You can do this for most darts. This is how you close your dart, so you don't always have to sew a dart. So when I want to cut this on my fabric now, I'll just go ahead and cut straight, add your allowances to the side. When it's time to sew that, you're not sewing any dart. The cloth already has shape. You can see that the shape has already come because you have held up here. Now, and there's another part that we do for the skirt to remove those extra balloon like happenings that happen in the middle of your skirt. You come down by 1 inch. You come down by 1 inch and you connect it to use your ruler. You can use your curve as well. You connect it to your center front, sorry, to your side front. That's your side seam line. and then you're going to cut this out. Now this will give your skirt a perfect fit at the front, and this is only to be done after you've already removed your dart, after you close your dart like this. Yes, you can also close the dart for the back, so you don't have to sew the dart when you're cutting your fabric. So thank you so much for watching. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and see all our tutorials when they come, at every time they come. Thank you so much. Bye for now.